Hey, how's everyone doing? Everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. So I wanted to let me put my light on now since my overhead light turned off. There we go. Maybe that's gonna help out a little bit. So I wanted to start people getting involved in a lot of the processes that I do here with some of my film work, and those of you may know that I'm actually in the process of it's in development at the moment, developing a short film based off of Wilson. And those of you might remember him from Castaway in that sad moment in Castaway in which Wilson drifts away and he's never seen again. And the big question is, what happened to Wilson? So the short film itself is actually based off of that. In my vision, answers the question, what happened to Wilson? And so I wanted to kind of, I'm middle of creating the shots for for the cameras and for the actions, so that way there can be a visual. So to know that when the filming happens, I already have preset the angles and all that fun stuff. And so I wanted to kind of get you guys involved. I have some other ones in the future already done, but this one is was actually one of the ones that I thought would be cool to do with you guys to kind of show as an illustration of it. So let's go ahead and get ourselves over here. And so we're going to be starting off with, actually, let me do this here. This actual scene here actually begins with on scene 7. Actually, no, sorry, scene 6. So, and I'm going to get my other system here. So on scene 6, in which, you don't know what's happened before, you don't know what's going to happen afterwards, that Wilson has sometime, somewhere, washed ashore on an island. And when you're creating the shot list for a film for particular scenes, if the shots are happening at the same location and pretty much at the same scene, you can create many different shot actions and shot camera positioning on that actually particular shots, because it's not per scene, it's really per scene of events, multiple events happening at a certain location. So our first thing here is actually to go ahead and, as part of the system here, I can actually, because we're actually looking from top down on the over top. And so to set our scene here, and kind of give, and again, the scouting hasn't been done, so this is just an example, and things are going to be adjusted based off of what information is decided upon, what locations are decided and all that. So here's the island shot. Here it is. So imagine this is a shore, and obviously palm trees over here. And what I'm going to do here, so that way I can see if anyone is actually commenting. Let me pop on over, and okay, I'll move things over here. Everything's kind of freaking out. Give me a moment. Everything's decided to black out. Hold on here. I think it's me trying to do that full view over here. Okay, and you can't see the full image, so I'm gonna reposition this, readjust this, and what we'll do is actually, so this is kind of the basic. We're gonna go for the full shot. There we go. So this is kind of as an example of the overtop of our scene. And so in the actual, the first part of the scene itself, basically Side close shot showing the shore, showing Wilson sitting and being lapped with the waves. So that means Wilson would be here on the edge, and so our first object here is to go ahead and we will add in our Mr. Prop, and we have a little Wilson little prop here that I use. And of course, nothing's really to scale. So he's washing ashore here. And so now we have to establish first, actually, readjust, like say he's like hop up on the side here. First, we have to decide where our cameras are going to be. So this is a side close shot showing the shore and showing Wilson sitting and being lapped with the waves. So then I first need to determine which camera do I want to use. And because it's going to be so close and it's going to be pretty much where the waves are and where the water is, I'm going to want something that can be durable to the water. So that is where, and I haven't gotten it yet, and it's part of the equipment that I need to get. My camera C, I think I have it as the green, it would be like a GoPro, or it's like it'd be like a waterproof camera. And so, and depending on where sunset is, because what happens is with sunset in the background at water level, mid shot, Wilson floats for about 10 seconds, then a nudge, then a nudge from the bottom. Oh, that's okay. Sorry, that was actually from a different scene. I'm not gonna let you guys know about that. So he lands. Okay, that's at sunset. Okay, okay. And so sunrise comes, and we see him on the shore. So we're gonna have our camera here, and so to identify it, it's going to be a GoPro because it's going to be a waterproof, close shot, slightly wide angle. And what is it happening here? It's going to be a medium close shot. So that way we can kind of identify exactly what's happening there. And so this is actually going to be camera C. And we're going to let's do a medium close up. We don't know exact lens or that's going to be used for it or the actual dimensions there, but just that we can kind of identify which camera it is. So it's going to be a nice close shot of Wilson kind of laying up against the shore, kind of being lapped with the waves themselves. And then that's our scene 6 here. And then scene 7, moments later, now we have an angle shot showing from Wilson towards the side of the shore as Wilson sits with a wave lapping at him as it sits against some seaweed. Okay, yeah, I actually had merged those two shots. So that is actually, let me go ahead and let me swap my view here so you can kind of have a view of what I'm seeing. Like this right here. So I actually merged these two scenes. Okay, so it's an angle shot showing from Wilson towards the side of the shore, which is the same shot here. As Wilson sits with waves lapping at him. This actually should be at him as it sits against some seaweed. So like right here, kind of seaweed would have caught him as the sun drops beneath the horizon. This is actually as the sun. This is actually changed to the last scene ends with sunset, so this shows between that time and sunrise, he had at some point come ashore here. And yeah, so that kind of sets the tone for that situation. And so then going from that scene 7 to scene 8, We have an angled close-up and a slightly to the side. The edge of a palm, which let me go and swap back to our full shot here. Let's see here. Towards the side of the shore as Wilson sits with the waves. Okay, yeah. The edge of a palm tree at sand level. So we can set this as camera C. What we can go ahead and do is have them duplicated and say this is maybe even like right here. Because like say for instance, because what's going to happen is a coconut would be, you know, thinking as if it's going to drop from this tree, right? And so we're going to even do this as, I'm going to first do this so I can identify our next thing here. Close, medium. So that way I can identify what type of shot that is. There we go. And then this one right here, we're doing the same thing. It's still going to be the GoPro. And so that way we can use the same area and kind of have multiple shots for different things. The GoPro, it is still camera C. And this is going to be another, this can be kind of a medium shot. So that way, because I want to feature some other things happening. And then we have, so it'll be a medium shot right here. And so what we'll do, because I want to also have overlay visual. Medium shot. So that puts it here, and let me bring it over here. So what's going to happen is once this scene happens, and I think we're looking at full, yeah, we're looking at full there. And we go double check here on Facebook. I don't want to miss any questions or any comments anyone might have. I have too many windows open. Okay, I think it's right here. Okay. Let me get ourselves back. Okay. So what's going to happen in this scene is angled shot in a slightly to the side, the edge of a palm tree, sand level. So this is going to be a, actually we're going to call this a medium ground shot. And a crab ambles by across the scene as a coconut drops to the ground, nearly missing it. So we're going to go ahead and say if we do this crab, let's go ahead and make him a red. So say if we're going to, okay, so if he's going to amble by, we want to kind of create a little bit of depth and visual. And so we don't, I mean, if it goes straight across, it's going to just create a single dimension shot. So if we kind of maybe have him at an angle. Oh, can I resize these? Cannot resize them. So if we have him here, it's kind of angling this way. And so then it's going to show that he's going to say walk this way off scene, right? At which point, just before right here, as he passes underneath, then we will end up having a coconut drop. And so let's do this here. Let's use this one as a coconut. Boop. So coconut will drop, nearly missing him. And so as that drops, he's going to continue. He would have continued past. And then it's going to cut to scene 9, where it's going to be a follow shot, rolling coconut as it rolls down a sandy hill, which is a sandy hill going towards where he's at. As it rolls down a sandy hill, then rolls and hits Wilson, pushing it back into the water. So has to be a drop. We catch the shot with this one right here, and then it has to be set up in a way so that when it does drop, it starts its roll. So instead of it just being a drop and then all of a sudden it cuts to a shot with it rolling, there needs to be something in place where it would begin its roll. Let me see if I can. I need to be able to click him. Get this guy out of the way. So he is going to end up rolling towards him. And so what's going to then happen is it goes, he walks across, nearly misses him as this drops. And as it drops, it's then going to cut to the rolling. So that can then be an actual camera A. So that would be my DSLR. So then if I then create my DSLR, I have marked as the blue. And we also have to look at where sunset is for the lighting, so that way shadow doesn't cast on them. So if this was into sunset, or sorry, sunrise, that means sun's going to be, let me get my lighting right here. The sun is going to be kind of offside over here. And so, obviously the light emanating over here. And so if I'm sitting here, I would be casting a shadow. However, if I do it at an angle, so that way, as it rolls, I'm going to set the shot here. This is camera A, medium, leg level shot. So that way, and then it's going to be, it's camera A. Why, hold on here. You are camera C. Why is it, okay, that's because it's, I don't know why it's doing that. It should be keeping it as camera C. The reason why it's doing, actually, you know what? Keep that one there, because that's the GoPro. My camera B is actually, until unless I get a different camera to use it for, is actually, let me change its color. Is actually if it's a mobile phone, or if I have some other sort of camera, which is my orange. So that would actually be, for now, the mobile phone, or smartphone, I think I'm calling it, until I can actually get a different one in mind to really use for those particular shots. And so that way, this one can remain here, and that would also mean that, and this is going to be a follow cam, so I'm going to do it here. And it's a follow cam on a gimbal. So that way, it ambles by. This camera here, adjust this positioning, is focusing here. It ambles by. This nearly misses it. then it rolls, and then this camera here follows it to about here, at which point it should then hit Wilson, causing Wilson to then get pushed out into the water. Oh, yes. That's because of the distance. There we go. And so that means that before, okay, this is going to film it straight on. Before this one, gets adjusted, it would be kind of like this. So that way we get the shot of it knocking it into the water. And so this would cause it to follow. And then there's going to be a slight pan as it's going. So that way this camera won't be... Well, by the time this one, because the field of view, at some point it's going to cross paths with this camera. So that's obviously where it's going to cut. And then it's going to cut to it being hit with this camera, at which point you're going to get the shot of it actually going into the water, causing Wilson to float. Let me move this here so it's more centered. And so that would, let me take a look here. So once we come back over to here, there's a script. Follow shot rolling coconut as it rolls down a sandy hill. So we got that one in the camera. Okay, and then it takes us back then out into the oceans where we have a camera at surface level as Wilson drifts towards it and passing by it on one of the sides. Camera at the surface drifts towards it. So that'll be more. Okay, so this one right here, this shot sequence, covers us for. Make sure. Yeah, covers us for scene 7 through 9. So then I'm going to go ahead and save this here. So these are the other shot sequences I already have set up. That was 7 through 9. Okay. So then what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is, which things do I currently have set up here? The beginning ones. Oh, we actually go back. I need to go back to here. So scene 1. Scene 2. Which I need to adjust this. Scene 3. Our scene 4. Okay, and then our scene 5. This is it was adjusted between. That's why I kind of got the Wilson prop in there. And so then, okay, so then, um, yeah, so that actually ends it at. I need to adjust this because when we merge these scenes, they were changed. Okay. All right. So that actually gets us up to here, to scene 5 and scene 7, which we cut scene 6. I'm gonna have to readjust the positionings of all the other stuff. And then that covers 7 through 9. Okay. So then now that gets us back to the ocean. And we can actually go ahead and use this layout initially. Since we're going to be using camera C, which is the GoPro. I'm going to fix that. It's waterproof. Why am I doing zeros? There we go. Okay. All right, and then so let's go ahead and jump this back. Okay. So then with this scene, so this is scene 10, camera at surface level as Wilson drifts towards it and passes by it on one of the sides. So, if we are considering this being west and the sunset is actually, so if that was west or east for sunrise, means continuity wise, sun should be about here by now. And if we're needing it to be lit, well lit, and the direct, so it'd be shifting west. So then we shift these positions here. So if this is our camera and we have it at surface level, and so actually we're looking over. So if we're looking overhead, right? So we're gonna set it as, so that means this is still gonna be slightly over top, higher in the sky, right? So we're gonna adjust this, point it towards him. So we can actually kind of even do it like this, depending on with the direction of how what the drift is. And so if he begins, say up here, come on, there we go. If he begins up here, have him pass by here. Maybe more at a, there we go. And so then he passes directly out of the scene. With this is just basically above us since we're looking down at it. It looks like we're looking to the side, but we're just looking down. And so that would account for scene 10. So that would put us in our open water. So then with our scene 11, wide side shot, that would be exterior, open water, day, moments later, a wide side shot with Wilson on left side of frame. Wait for 10 seconds. The pan slowly to the right. And then you show the background, shows thunder clouds as sky crackles and flashes. So, we can use the same kind of scene here. So actually what we could do, so if it's saying moments later, we can do it sometime later, because we don't know how much time has passed, right? So I'm going to, because it helps me with the blocking, find a overhead ocean storm, just so we can have like a background and kind of have visuals. And I want to do it as an overhead. And it's not always an easy thing to find. Just kind of get a shot overhead. What I can do is try this one here. This would kind of give us a slight idea. I drop it? No, I can't drop it. Okay. I wish. Okay, let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and bring this guy in. This guy right here. What sucks is when it's not a higher resolution, it doesn't show up as large. So what I'm going to need to do is increase its resolution so it will appear larger on our screen. So that way everything's not so like cramped together, right? I just have to be able to pull it into Photoshop. Adjust its resolution. So right now, if I do 300 DPI and then say make it say 10. Oops. And then now I can do 300. There we go. And then let's save it. And then we can bring it back in. Oh, it's not gonna let me. That sucks. I'm gonna delete it and then we add in a new one. And give me something bigger. There we go. Let me zoom out. Okay, there we go. So let's go back to the scene here. A wide shot with Wilson on the left. So if he's still drifting, say this direction, wide shot, Wilson's on the left, right? So let me bring him over here. Okay, wide shot with Wilson on the left side of the plane. Wait 10 seconds. And then pan slowly to the right. So if he's right here, say let's do it like right here, right? So you don't see the storm that's over here towards this direction. So then we don't need this guy. So he's just floating there, right? He's making his way this way. And then what we'll do, we'll create a pan, right? Because this is our camera C. Pan this way. Actually, what we need to do, let's do our duplicate, our track, and we adjust so it pans this way. Like that. As we're drifting a little bit, right? As we look here, we're going to see a storm. So what I want to do here, because we want to kind of have an idea of what we're looking at, what we're seeing. And so we're going to do, and this what allows us to, when we do the actual shots, I can actually attach an example of the framing of what you're seeing. So I'm on the other stuff that I'm doing, I'll be going around and capturing basically the same framing of like how it appears right now, and be able to kind of have an idea of what to expect when you're seeing it. So that way, when we do the actual shot list, it will show this. So that way, we kind of have an idea. Let me bring this down here. What this camera is kind of seeing. So it pans from this direction, pans here, and it'll see a storm. Now, and then, I mean, depending on how lucky I am to be able to shoot it while there's a storm happening, um, I can either film the actual storm or it's going to be CGI. Okay, and that puts us there. Okay, so it pans and it sees that storm. Shows thunderclouds as sky crackles and flashes. Then moments later, or sometimes later, it's a medium shot as Wilson goes up and down in heavy, dark seas as a wave crashes over it and doesn't reappear on the surface. So if we do, so let's go and say this one here. This one is scene 11. And since the next scene um, is going to be a different kind of visual, let me see if I can locate. I mean, I can't get over top shots easily, but I do want to get some shots of, like, say, a storm and some the waves. So let's say if we do this one here, which means I'm probably going to have to readjust that resolution again. Once I say this here, and that is this one here. We're going to, that's a cool shot. And we're going to readjust its resolution. So first, we're going to change it to 300 dpi, and then we're going to readjust. Oops, 300. We're going to readjust it to, say, 9. Oops, 9 inches. So it's kind of the same ratio as that other one. We're going to save it here. And now we're going to go ahead and add the background image in, delete the existing one, and that would be this one right here. Okay. So we're going to get rid of that view. So now that means, okay, we were looking at wide shot with Wilson on the left side. Okay, that's the same one. Okay, scene 12. Medium shot as Wilson goes up. Actually, that should not a wide shot. That actually should be a wide shot. Wide shot as Wilson goes up and down in heavy dark seas as a wave crashes over it and doesn't reappear on the surface. So that would be, say he's on the surface here. Say if Wilson, say it's being drifted this way, right? And say it goes into the sea here, which causes him to kind of go under. And then if we're continuing to, it flows down, and we do a wide shot. We're gonna do this here. Still camera C, yep, okay. Change this here. This is shooting towards waves. And we're going to call this one of our long shots. Okay. Hits it in, more like that. It goes in underneath. It disappears. Now, if I had two, and so that way by this time, let's say sun is, we don't really sometimes don't have full control, but it kind of gives us an idea of at least the passage of time, right? So if I'm shooting that direction, he goes under, and then goes away, no more, right? And so that cuts us to, that was 12. Okay. Okay, so then that would be 12. 12. Okay. Sure, my audio. Yep, I'm still getting audio. So I make sure that if people are watching that they're actually able to see something. Or even if people are going to rewatch it. It's late, so I understand that people are actually not watching. Um, I'll be doing some other of these scenes. So I have some upcoming scenes here that I might do to kind of give people an inside view. I don't want to reveal some of the key story elements about it. So there's some scenes I'm going to be eliminating, but it gives people kind of a sneak preview as to what's going on. Um, okay, so if we go back here in our next scene here, say we do. What I'm going to go ahead and do is for calm seas. Calm seas. We'll do that. Let's save these calm seas. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and readjust the resolution. $300. Make it into size 9. Let's go ahead and save it here. And we're going to go ahead and bring in a background image. Okay. So say, for instance, now by this time, sun is actually, what are we looking at? Because I think, yeah. So sun would be, say, in the west, right? So I guess we're heading east. That would kind of make sort of sense. Okay. So say camera is here. And white shot as goes, okay. Medium shot after storm, calm seas, surface level halfway in the water, and out pan left to right. So if we start over here, so it depends on where it's going to be, left to right. Okay. So let's pan, say, from here. And it's going to move here. Hold the frame, seeing storm clouds in the distance for 5 seconds. So it stops, and then he's underneath it. So this is appearing, showing it underneath, and then he pops up. So this would be like underneath the water. The other way. Redone. There we go. So then it pops, and he pops up. And let's kind of do it as a medium shot. Oh, actually, I called it as a wide shot. Okay. So it means if it's going to be a wide shot, he's actually going to be more like he's going to be over here. That means when it turns, come on, there we go. Move it a little bit, facing this direction right here. So let's do long shot. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to see these. And that's why we're going to add it in here as maybe we do it as a medium long shot. So let's go and change it to shooting towards open sea. And then it's going to be medium long shot. Oops, MSL. Medium long shot, MLS. But again, it's hard to kind of see it on there, so I'm gonna, yeah, adjust this one here. Medium long shot. Okay. And we already have that set here. Okay. We don't know the lenses yet. But then he pops up, and for 5 seconds, and Wilson pops up from beneath. Hold. Cut. Then, let me say this here, that is scene 13. So then, close shot. Okay. So then we're gonna have I actually might end up getting rid of this 15 and merging it. Since I don't need to show every single thing. Okay. 15. This is transition. There we go. And so we'll move this to be part of here. Okay. Close shot at surface, showing Wilson beat up from the storm. So say, for instance, if he pops up here, get rid of this guy. Rotate him a little bit. Over top, let's bring the camera here. Close shot. Okay, so it's not attached to it. So let's go pro. We're going to do okay, close shot. And so then get rid of this guy. And we're going to take a look here. Close up. Towards Wilson. Showing him beat up the storms. Okay. Okay, so that means it actually will have to be over here. Because end of it, seagulls can be heard in the distance as Wilson drifts among the small waves. I guess that technically. I guess with this one, it could kind of end at sunset. So small waves beat up as the sun sets. The sun sets in the distance. We're looking at him kind of beat up. You might see just a silhouette. That may be a slight issue. Because if we're looking towards the sun, so I guess you're gonna see it kind of him kind of raggedy a little bit. Maybe his his hair is kind of messed up. So we might need just to help with kind of setting his tone. Since all this time here we're using the natural light, and I guess it's going to be a dependent on the situation. Is may need to have that's crackle lightning. Okay, that's what that is. Okay. Um, at least on the boat here, a LCD or a let's see here, an LED light kind of. It's a dimmable, so it can help to. I guess it would be kind of behind here, right? Helping to because it's dimmable, so it can actually you want to keep the shadows, you want to keep the aspect of silhouette, but you still want to kind of see him. So you might so if this is the boat here, and maybe this person is actually in the water, that we have a boat here that he's attached to, that someone on the end could kind of be using a light there, kind of helping to bring out to be able to kind of see him a little better. And if needed, we can always use a reflector. So if we had, so that way there might be less glare depending on the positioning. So if we used a, let's see what we got here. Use this as a kind of reflector that might help, depending on how the shots are going to be. This should be scalable. Yeah. I like that. Actually, you know what? If its sun's going this way, if it's strong enough, then maybe even a reflector being held right here would be enough. So that way and that actually might even help with, depending on the coloration that the sun illuminates. it can reflect even the color onto him, so it can kind of give him a sense of. That actually might be pretty cool. A sense of coloration. So I'm going to set label reflector and it's showing as he's drifting this way into kind of the sunset aspect, like that. I like that. I like that idea. And he kind of drifts into the sunset. Okay, at that point. Okay, cool. I like that. So then if we go ahead and that is scene 14. Okay. I think that actually will kind of actually work out pretty cool. All right, so I think that should be good with us for now. I'm hoping those of you who had a chance to watch it live, or will get a chance to kind of watch it soon, kind of gives you the opportunity to kind of see the processes. Because not only do you have to write the script, or whoever, on bigger productions, obviously you have different people doing different things. But when you're a small independent company, you have individual people, even small groups of people do the script, doing the lighting, the light design, because I'm actually merging both the light design and the shots together, so that way I know what lighting is going to be needed for that particular shot. And again, this is all estimate, and the shot design will I will be taking actual example shots of, so I can actually look at the scenes, readjust it based off of actually what I'm seeing, kind of capture those shots, so then I can use it as kind of like a viewfinder. And so I want to kind of give you guys an opportunity to kind of experience what it takes to kind of go into this. And as you can see here, this is just like 5 scenes out of all of them that I will be doing for the short film. Now, it's a short film, and depending on the duration of it, it'll kind of determine how short of a film it is. Based off of what I imagine things happening, because right now, how many pages? Um, there are currently a total of 38 scenes, and that puts us into about 10 pages. And again, typically when you can estimate the length of a film, it's really based off of the length of the dialogue. So it really depends on how long these shots are sustained and are included in the film. As you can tell, the majority of the film is by perspective. And so you're not going to hear this overarching dialogue, because you're seeing it from the perspective of Wilson, what he's experiencing, what he goes through going from where we left off with him to wherever his destination is. And it's unique experience. It's a great way to kind of be able to look into it. And again, these things are used, like the shot and the light designs are used, so that way when you go and actually do those scenes, you will have it already designed. All you have to do is look at your shot designs, your shot layout, and you just set everything up, because you've already scouted the situation, you scouted the location, you've already determined the shots, the shot angles, and so instead of sitting there and having to design it at the time. So, but thank you guys for joining me today. And feel free to follow on my page at Wicked Eye Studios here on at Facebook, YouTube, as well as on where else do I have it on? Oh my god, Instagram. And so that way you can kind of see when I do some more behind the scenes stuff. Thank you guys. You have an excellent day, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us.